other side.
We back up.
Yeah, we haven't recorded since, what was it, the first week, like early first week of June
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah, after
Like
we got
it's-
out, right after.
It's
I think it was it Aristotle or Socrates?
Socrates.
That's Socrates that said, "Another one." Here we are with another one.
Sounds accurate.
Or maybe it was DJ Khaled. So yeah, we took some time off, summer vacation. That's over.
You did stuff.
What did you do?
What?
What were your highlights?
See, I have a kid, so staying at home. It's hot as balls during the summer, and she doesn't want to go outside. I don't want it. So our wonderful trips were like, seriously, we would go to Vaughn's or go go shopping like that.
They have good AC there.
Now, we would go to San Diego because we do have like SeaWorld passes and zoo passes and Sesame Place passes. Like we
and
just
a pass from the heat.
and there it is. The
Dude, it's
pass
so
from the heat.
hot.
The only other thing I did was the over the line tournament.
Oh yes.
The over the line tournament.
You guys
And
you
we
guys tore it up.
Yeah, so you couldn't participate this year, and we were scrambling, and we found one guy, but he couldn't do it last minute, so we finally called
The secret weapon.
upon Brock Lyon.
Brock.
And Brock, all these years, not asking you for whatever reason, all regrets now, because Brock was an absolute machine.
right
And
here.
of all the 15 years I played in that thing, this is only the second time I've made it to the second weekend. And
Yeah.
I mean, we got killed the next weekend, but
You told me like we're playing
Yeah.
next weekend. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
And I thought
That's a big deal.
I
'cause-
thought I broke my pinky too, but I think it's fine now. So false alarm, guys.
Yeah.
Pinky's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, you told me that Brock made it. I was like, cool. And then, I mean, I wasn't around, but I was like, hey, how'd you guys do?
Yeah.
And you're like, we're playing next weekend. I was like, what? That means you guys won.
Yeah.
Because we played last year.
Yeah.
We didn't win any games, but it was fun.
Yeah.
We almost did.
I think that's happened like 2 or 3 times where we were 2 and out, and last year was one of those.
Yeah. That's cool, though. OTL, man. It's magic.
My mom got to go one of those days, so she finally got to see it. And my son, who doesn't like to do anything his father does, he likes this thing. This is the second year that he's played with me, and those are like very sentimental about that stuff. Whether
Yeah.
he goes and plays baseball with me, or in this case OTL, because
Over the line, man.
yeah,
It's
I get
coming.
I get way into it as long as I'm not too drunk.
That's the magic.
But even if I'm drunk, I still get way too into this
That's
stuff.
the magic of OTL, man.
Yeah.
It brings people together.
Yeah.
So shout out to Brock, man. Tore it up.
So to Brock, to Craig's team Shark Attack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put on another great performance.
You know, he got interviewed by the local news live on air.
No.
Yeah, I need to find that recording of him
I didn't
because
know
in the background, we were in one court and they were in the next court and they were getting interviewed on the sand, and of course, I mean, this guy interviewing him is just it's
Well,
full.
what did they?
And I kept on yelling
how,
on the interview.
how many?
Just
how
yelling.
many? What places? They didn't place, but they out of like what over 100 teams, they were like one of the last.
It's
how
a
many-
buttload, and I mean they always make it the second weekend. I'm not sure how far they got, but yeah, they did well. They did better than us, but I mean you've been there when we were 2 and out, and it's still fun.
Yeah, it's a
And
party.
I don't care.
It's
Yeah,
a party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, speaking of party,
But you did a little more
a
travel.
little bit. I did. I mean, I started off, went to Guadalajara, did that tequila tour.
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
but then I went to the magical land of Colombia,
Uh-huh.
and that place is beautiful. I went there. I was there for several weeks, and started off in Bogota. We then traveled to town of Armenia. It's in a different state, and then from there we ended in Medellin. Man, it was awesome. This was probably one of the top summers I've had in a long time.
Compared to Mexican food, go for it.
It's not spicy. That's the first thing I will say.
So it's like
because
it's like British Mexican food.
no, well, no, because it has flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, they have flavor, but it's just not
Okay.
spicy. But
Yeah.
that's what I was. The first thing I would say is not spicy.
You ever heard of Johnny? You ever heard of Johnny's Burritos right here?
Yes.
That's all. Yeah, I always refer to like because it's Mexican,
been there,
I guess,
but
it's burritos, and I always refer to it as
The
British
British-
Mexican food.
Because it's not
Like when you
spicy.
see their guac, how they make
Oh,
it, it's all liquidy.
I know what
when
you
you see the salsa, it's all liquidy.
Yes, I know what
And I mean, yeah, it is good, and people really dig it. But compared to Mexican food, it's bland,
Yeah.
you know. But
The fruit there is amazing.
oh yeah,
It's just it's
Yeah.
magic. And then I came back, and then I just got back literally Friday this past
yeah,
weekend.
like up out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm going to Denver.
I had to see. I went to Denver because I had to see if John Denver was full of shit or not. You know, and I thought the Rockies would be rockier than that.
It is a serious
So,
concern.
You know.
Yeah.
So I actually went to a small little museum at the Red Rock Amphitheater.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Hey, where's the weather like?
It was warm. I thought it'd be cooler, but it was like, well, it's different because you're so high in elevation.
Yeah.
It
You're
was like
Mile
mid
High.
80s. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mile High City. You're like mid 80s, but the sun is so strong. And I went
Yeah.
to the Rockies game. You played your Padres.
Two of them.
And I went to a couple games, and it was about 84, 85. I was like, oh, sweet. It's 80s. It's 115 in Yuma. But it was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot. I got sunburned.
80 in San
And-
Diego is hot.
Yeah.
78 in San Diego was hot.
But the sun is so strong. But yeah, it was cool. Just got back in time for our welcome back district kickoff. This is our first week back after summer vacation, and these are always fun. Our district meetings, district collaborations.
You know what?
Good
You
stuff.
start getting old, man. I remember it being July 4th because we got a room like in the bay, San Diego Bay. We got a room in the San Diego Bay. So I remember thinking, oh crap, it's July 5th. I only have a month left. A month is gone. We only have a month left. And I felt like it went fast. But then, like, I think the last week I was getting restless, meaning, all right, it's time to go back to work. And so when we first came back, I was walking in and I was like, it's just good to see everybody.
Well, yeah. When that restlessness feeling, I was like, that's kind of why I went to Denver. I was like, man, I still got another week before we go back to work.
Well, I get
I'm like,
restless.
I want to do something. I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to go to Denver for a while, and that's the next stadium on my list.
I get restless, I go to Bonds. You get restless, you go to Denver.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we are apparently not the same.
so
Yeah, don't have kids, kids.
So I was like, I'm going to Denver, and yeah, it was cool. But we're back. It actually felt pretty cool to come back and see a lot of our friends and colleagues and everything. We had our district assembly. We had, actually, this is pretty successful. Our first meetings back, we had our trainings and all, and I think it was a success. I didn't fall asleep. Because
That's right.
I struggled to wake up before 8 a.m. all summer, and I had to wake up even earlier this time, and it was just a long, I mean, you know how the meetings are. They're long.
First week is cool, and I would imagine it's similar with every district. You come back,
Professional development,
they have
training,
sexual harassment trainings, and this and that training.
bloodborne pathogen
Yeah,
training.
yeah.
I mean, it's,
So
I get it, I
somebody
get it.
Pass off a fentanyl.
But it's
then
yeah.
we had that teacher clarity book, and every teacher knows this, that their district buys into some new thing. That's
I
kind of
understand.
not a new thing. It's just a new way of organizing it, or maybe a new
Yeah.
philosophy. And they pay these people like up over 10 grand.
The stuff is
to come and
good.
work with us for a day.
The speaker was good. The presenter, she was good. It's just like, it was just a long day, and like we came back from lunch, and I'm like, oh, please don't fall asleep.
Dude, when they said 3 takeaways, you had 3 takeaways? It was 3 things you're taking away from the day. You said the presenter's good, fool. I
Yeah,
want to hear it.
she was cool.
What's your 3 takeaways?
Learning targets,
She wasn't that good.
success criteria.
She wasn't
She was funny.
I don't even remember her being funny because I was tuned out from all that stuff. But
But she was funny.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I would be a better presenter. So,
There you
so
go.
there.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
she's getting paid for a reason. I'm
was-
getting paid.
she-
I'm not getting paid.
She knew what
for
she
a
was
reason.
talking about.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
but
Yeah,
we're also,
absolutely.
you gotta admit, we're a tough crowd. Like, we're a tough crowd. You know, it is. We're tough.
Texas stupid crap all the
But
time.
so, but then we have our other district, you know, meetings, and I mean, I will say I'm very competitive, and so
Oh, yeah,
when we
the
had our-
assembly side,
we had
all
our
the
assembly,
games.
I was like, you know what? These are
Yeah.
I think not everybody gets into it, but a lot of people do, and so it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
gotta admit,
there were like 6 different games where it was like Central classified.
so they broke it up into like
Southwest
schools
classified.
and like departments from like our classified or
teachers,
certified.
central teachers against.
Hey, but who's a tic-tac-toe champion?
Well, I almost messed it up.
Yeah, well, but
apparently.
hey, but you won.
Well, I saw that there's gonna be some running
Tic-tac-toe.
involved, and so like, all right, I'm gonna join this.
Well, let me tell. I didn't even tell you.
Yeah.
So when they blocked the last square, you went to a different square,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Because like, what's already taken? Move to another one, and your team right away picked it up and said, "Oh, well, got to find another line to make," and boom, we won.
Well, I'm glad you.
And
knew
then I was like,
what you were
"See, Santana's not that dumb."
I'm glad you knew what I was doing because
Santana's not that dumb. We
I didn't
figured it
know
out.
that.
You're
I was
a
like-
problem solver on the fly.
I put that thing down and I was thinking, oh look, we won, and I was looking at like Craig and everybody and confused, like, is it that easy?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they brought out that little, I don't know what happened. The second game was
Yeah. And then I was in the other competition, the
the
Magic,
carpet, where
Magic Carpet
Yeah.
Ride Champs. So we got to pull a carpet and then kind of like a relay or whatever, and we won that one. And Craig tried to say he tried to disqualify us. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
They would have made no difference. We were way ahead in the lead, and
is that why we played him again? Because they
that-
didn't want to disqualify us.
I don't know.
In the
we won, so it
The
doesn't matter.
second game was worse anyway.
He could say what we want, but Southwest beat him. We beat Central,
I don't care if we lose to whoever as long as we beat Central.
and we did.
Because we're not going to beat them in football.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we come back, and so we thought, you know what? Let's talk to some of our other colleagues and see how they're feeling. Tomorrow's the first day of school, and what are you looking forward to this year? So
it's that, right?
So we're gonna ask them what are some of the things that they're looking
Yeah.
forward to this year, or their goals,
So
or
it's
expectations.
like the New Year's resolution, like, new year, new me.
Yeah.
So I'm not into that crap. Like, hey, whatever, I'm still gonna be.
But also,
but when teaching, you get a fresh start. Day one, you get new students. You have a fresh start.
So what are you looking forward to this year, or like what's something your expectations?
So I didn't realize what COVID did to me personally, and it affected everybody in some way, shape. It did, but I didn't realize that it took a little fire away from me. So in the last couple of years, I've allowed cell phones. I'm not as organized with my lessons, stuff like that. I knew this. I knew this, and it causes more kids to tune out than normal.
So would you say your blade was a little dull last year in comparison to previous?
Yeah, I need to make a chart, man.
Yeah. You got
I
to
need to make
sharpen
a chart.
it.
I need to make it. So I'm
Sharpen
looking,
your knife.
look forward to that. I'm also looking
Sharpen
forward to
it.
teaching regular economics government for seniors
Okay.
because I really get into the amendments and I show like cops pulling people over and the kids have to talk about like their rights and what amendment and then we get into economics and I teach them a little bit of that, but more so like what's credit card, what's an interest rate, what's annual interest rate, how do you buy a car. I really emphasize doing stuff like that, so I am really excited about having seniors again.
Okay.
Am I supposed to teach this stuff? Not necessarily,
But
but I will.
It's relevant,
Yeah.
right? Relevancy, that's the key. So, yeah, I think you kind of touched on it. Kind of, you mentioned, kind of like pandemic. It's already been 3 years since the start of it, but we've talked about it before, but how it changed teaching, right? It's changed it so much,
And we're still learning.
yeah, we're
how
still
it changed.
yeah,
right?
we're still like
Uh-huh.
we're still going through these changes, right?
Like everybody said, oh, the kids they don't have the skills they used to. It's because of COVID. We're like, you didn't expect that.
So
And
and
so-
I mean, learning loss has been brought up and all that, But
The thing that I didn't expect is I feel like there's a loss of curiosity.
I guess
A little bit.
Yeah, and
Or
I
maybe-
think that's part of it.
So I think
right?
either it might be A, COVID, or B, me just being a bad teacher past couple of years, or a little bit of both.
I don't know if it's like a cultural change or
Yeah.
just society
Yeah.
change, but we adapt. We figure it out, and so that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're adapting. We're figuring it out. I think that's one of the things that I'm kind of like looking forward to
Yeah.
because I'm actually going down a grade
Like,
level, and I'm teaching sophomores this year, and so I'm
yeah.
interested to see what that change in grade level will be like, and how do I change my approach?
Yeah.
Because obviously, you go down a level or two, you're going to see
I
some.
mean, you have a cultural
Differences.
we're dealing with cultural shift already because of COVID kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But add in you teaching sophomores
Mm-hmm.
and juniors, it should be definitely
It should be
more
interesting.
But
It should be interesting.
Like the cultural
And
shift,
and it's a different class, so
if people are wondering, oh, what cultural shift is the equivalent of like hippies turning into disco? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
what
just
are
a
the
shift.
similarities and differences?
And
right?
we're still kind of looking at what the after effects would be. We're learning all the time, and
So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to is what's the differences between what I previously taught to from last year to this year, and yeah, see where the fun is at.
I thought one last thing. What will the first week be like?
I think we've hit this point before, but it's connections before content. So it's a lot of get to know you. I like competition, so I play games and.
Oh yeah, your activities. You're a
Yeah.
lot better at this than I am.
But yeah, we don't. When do you get into content? Not in your AP, but your regular ed class.
AP is day one. They don't have a
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
Regular classes, I would say, end of the second week.
Okay.
But why? Why is because I don't know how it is at your school. In our school, it's always been this, and you can say, "Oh, the counselors, oh, admin." No, after so many years, I think it's just the way it is. For 2 weeks,
yeah.
there's kids constantly transferring
Schedule
in and out.
changes and
Schedule changes. Either somebody messed up, somebody didn't register you right.
Yeah.
Somebody, I don't want this class after all. Who knows what? But it's an absolute mess. Definitely the first week.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that when I started here, because I think
that issue at San Luis.
not really, not like that lengthy, but
Smaller school.
no, it's a bigger. So it's
More than 2,000?
It's almost 3,000 when I was there.
Wow.
Yeah, so we
And
didn't-
they had less scheduling problems.
Well, I'm not saying there were problems, but as far as like the time of the schedule, like everybody knows now, like within the first 2 weeks.
Even over there, though.
I'm talking about here.
But what about over there?
No, because it's just the system's different, right? It wasn't so much like academy, but like I don't know. It was just different. So scheduling was not the same as here, where you had to wait like week 3 to start content or whatever. You started earlier, but what I realized here is that if I started my content at the end of week 1, that I would it kind of messed with my flow because I had new students coming in, students leaving. I had to like catch them up on what they missed. So it was a pain. So I was like, you know what? This would be a good time to focus on more on like the foundational skills that we're going to be working on without getting into content and get to know each other as well. So definitely a lot of like, I wouldn't say fluff lessons, but it's like activities that we're going to revisit, but with content later. Like debates, controversial questions, like controversial topics.
Very nice.
Like a debatable question. And that's where I always come back to my beginning of the school year activity is a hot dog a sandwich? Because it's controversial. Some will say yes, some will say no. And I force them to make a decision. And so that's
everybody freaks out about Common Core. Now, I'm not going to speak for the math department because that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But Common Core, what is that? I think you just described it as a hot dog a sandwich. And there's no wrong answer, but you do have to support your answer.
Yeah.
Organized support. And if I could say that if Common Core is anything, it's really that. You can have
It's
whatever
more like
answer.
the process,
Yeah.
focusing on the process, the problem solving. Right?
Yeah.
So, because I mean, problem solving skills can be applied to like any field.
It's not so much memorizing anymore. It's problem solving. You
Learn
said
how
it.
to learn. Learn how to figure things out, and the better you are at processing certain information, the more effective your solution.
Well, they're going to be the
So, but let's find out what some of our friends and colleagues have to say, what they are looking forward to this year. So we'll get into some interviews and see what they think.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it.
So
these clowns.
Let's find out what they have to say. Boom. With the birthday boy, Ed Tamayo. What's up, Ed? We're asking friends and colleagues, what are you looking forward to this year?
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting my new students, getting to know them. I have a bunch of senior classes this year, so I'm looking forward to going along for that ride with the seniors all the way through to graduation. Looking forward to sports, particularly the flag football season.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With Gradius coaching, and so we're going to go and support him. And then being back with the social science department,
Yes,
all
sir.
my colleagues, and having fun and getting back in the routine.
That's right. Represent. All right, Ed. Tex.
No problem.
All right. Today we're interviewing Dr. Andrea Correa, better known as Dr. Dre, and we're here to ask questions. Given that it's a new school year, it's our third since COVID, and we wanted to ask you, what are some things you're looking forward to this year?
I'm just trying to just get us back in shape academically for, the learning and the amount of paying attention that we need. A lot of us got a little out of shape when we were online, and even as adults, so just trying to ease some of that social anxiety and kind of get back into the learning process. And that takes a few years.
Yeah. Can you think of any funny stories from the past few years about, either the first few days or this post-COVID thing or anything before?
Well, I do teach freshmen, and they're not boring at all whatsoever. But I did have, speaking of Destiny's Child, I did have Destiny's Child playing on my stereo because I always have music in the class. Say my name, say my. And I was remembering a teammate that I had in college, and she was shaving her legs in the locker room, and she was saying, "Shave my legs, shave my legs." And so now I can't unhear it. And I said that in class, and the kids were, "Wait a minute, Google doesn't say that that's what the lyrics are. They said "Say my name." So it was really funny that they're listening to you all the time.
Yeah.
But so now the kids can't unhear it. They hear "Shave my legs."
Now I'm screwed. Yeah. So all right. Well, thank you for taking our time with us.
Well, thank you.
Hope you have a good year.
Our fearless leader, department chair, Cindy Garcia. We're asking our friends and colleagues, what are you looking forward to this year?
What I'm looking forward to this year is to coming back and working with my amazing work family. I have a good group of coworkers here who I love to call friends, more than friends, family, and they make life here at work very, very bearable and joyful.
You can say my name. All right, thank you, Cindy. Nick.
We're tolerable? That's ours.
You guys are tolerable. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, Cindy.
Amazing group of people.
Woo! The Mike Becker, and got a couple questions. So we've been going around and asking people, what are things you're looking forward to this school year? What are things you're optimistic about, you're not looking forward to? So Mike's unique in that you are now retired. So what are some things that you're looking forward to that you don't have to deal with as a teacher?
Well, to be honest, the one thing, and I've kind of gotten into this habit already, the one thing that I'm looking forward to not being focused on is trying to be out the door on my way to school by a certain time. I'm always a morning kind of guy, and I try to get up and do my workout, whatever I'm doing, walking, running, whatever. But then I have to get home and get showered and grab lunch and whatever I brought home and try to get to school as close to 7, because with all the coaching I've done, I've never been available after school. It's always been before school. And now it's like, oh, I woke up a little late. But that's okay. I don't have to worry about getting out the door and getting to school at a certain time. if my workout takes me a little longer, if I go a little farther, that's okay because I don't have to worry about the bell schedule. So I'm really looking forward to and I'm enjoying living my life without the bell schedule.
How about the training that you missed yesterday?
So,
Hey, yo, Dre, stick to producing. Okay.
what was Beck doing on campus?
Yeah. So, he's retired, so he showed up.
That's funny. Like we're talking to people.
And I was trying to think of Padre fans and giving this.
What did he?
Darvish bobblehead.
Oh, he
Yeah.
gave that to you.
So, like, my wife was talking about.
He's like, what do I do with this trash?
Yeah.
And that's why.
Well, he didn't see that. Yeah. So yeah, you Darvish bobblehead, and this one where he's not on the rubber, and so they're saying he's already did a balk. But yeah,
He's already. Yeah.
Yeah, you Darvish.
I mean, are you
bobblehead.
surprised?
Look it, I'm in pain right now.
He's probably gonna have Miela have to defend him. We're gonna go out and get ejected for him. So.
I'm in pain right now. So, I mean,
You know what? At least they have their coaches' support. So
What do you
the trash is over there. Just throw it in there. So, but it's funny to kind of hear him talk about things you don't miss. I mean,
yeah,
I think if I'm the first thing I'm gonna bring up, what's the first thing I don't miss about work is trainings.
yeah. I was actually kind of alluding to that. I was trying to allude to that. He took a different, which is a good direction. Think about it. You're retired. You're on a permanent summer break.
That's true.
So it's super interesting, and you're still getting your paychecks. But I mean, he did his time. He put his money away.
Yeah.
And I think because to get full pension, we do 40 years. I think. I think that's to get a full pension. I think.
Well, I don't know because
I would be
for
60,
me,
I would be 68.
I need a. I'm
Yeah.
still kind of confused because I still have my Arizona retirement
Pension?
stuff, and then so
Yeah.
I need to figure that stuff and kind of work on that. But the fact that he's not on a bell schedule anymore, and just kind of he doesn't have to rush in the morning, because I know in the morning I like to go to the gym in the morning, and sometimes I feel rushed and I gotta hurry up and
Yeah.
he doesn't have to worry about that.
I feel that too.
So
the
kind of envy that.
The
right
wrench
now.
in my life, and you pay attention to this, kids. So the wrench in my life, and kids are a blessing, and everything is blessing and curse. Everything. So, my daughter, and so the whole summer I'd wake up in the morning. If the wife would be at work, and we just kind of lay there for a little while, and I get up and I can't really focus on any work. I can't get out the computer because then she'll come and she'll start messing with the computer. She'll jump in my lap. Blah, blah. So at a certain point, I just kind of gave up. But there's a lot of beautiful things about it. But I know when I get to that age, get to Beck's age, and what you're talking about right now, you could just kind of go to the gym whenever. And when my wife was home, that's how the schedule worked.
Yeah.
We woke up. Maybe I went outside and mowed the lawn. Maybe I went for a run. Maybe I came back and ate something. Then I went to the gym a few hours later. There's no time frame.
Yeah.
It's just
Mike Becker, enjoy it. You earned it. So that's pretty cool, though. He's still, I don't know.
still mentally young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in your man. He's got
Sharp.
so much.
Well, I mean,
freaking-
he was talking also in meetings, he'd be sketching and drawing, which a lot of us tend to do. But
He did a lot of things.
but kind of. So we interviewed T, Dr. Dre, Cindy, and they kind of all touched on similar things that we talked about.
Yeah.
With Correa, and it's interesting. We notice this a lot. Yeah, we're already removed from a pandemic, but she talks about still easing back and dealing with social anxiety. Especially with teenagers, and so she works with freshmen. I think the younger group of high school students still display certain things that they're not confident as much as seniors.
Yeah.
But she kind of talked about easing that social anxiety still, even though this is gonna be our third school year back fully.
I would
we
make
still have
everybody.
those issues.
I would love to make everybody in the department take that that personality test, the Myers-Briggs personality
Yeah,
test.
I'm doing that.
I have all you guys.
I'm doing that soon.
But when the first time I tested before the pandemic, I was 96% extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the pandemic, I took it a year ago.
Kind of
And now
back on.
79%. I mean, I'm still in attention where you can get this. So, but it went from 96%,
No.
96% to 79%. And I feel that when I go to the gym, put my head down, and actually, one of the goals, my goals for this year is to be more fluid in talking, because what I started doing, I felt the last 2 years, staying within our circle, staying within the history department, staying with our boys that we play cards with, and really not looking up to say hi to people. So this year for the meetings, I made a point to show up, actually dress like a professional again. And, these were conscious decisions, not fight with administration. Like these honestly, so and
well, I mean, not to say, and kind of what you bring up being extroverted, introvert. I don't consider myself an introvert, but I'm somewhat in between.
You're somewhere in the middle, yeah.
I'm a little bit more extroverted than introverted, but like when I go to the gym, I don't talk to anybody. Like because I don't like to be somebody who gets in the way of people. Yeah. And so, like, if I see somebody I know, if I see them at the beginning, I'll go say hi to them, or if I'm done at the end, I'll if they're working out, I'll just from a distance say hello, but I will just.
I'm on my own. We could actually do a whole segment on gym etiquette.
Oh my God!
Anywhere from wiping on your weights, re-racking your weights,
gym culture,
hitting on the opposite sex, whether it's women hooking with men hooking with women.
But I mean, it's crazy. But coming back to the whole introvert extrovert, I feel like a lot more students now are a little bit more introverted because of that, and that's kind of what Correa was talking about, just kind of bringing them out. But I think we can both agree with what Tamayo and Cindy have to say, is that we're back. Like we're back with the department. Like those who know our department, we're not just a social studies or social sciences department. We're pretty social ourselves, and so
we've got new addition this year. Miss Avila retired, and
but we're pretty social, right?
Then Blake Barker came in, and so far she's fitting right in, fitting like a glove.
She's a veteran. She's not a real teacher. So.
I keep on looking at her because she's younger, so I keep on looking at her like she's new. And right now, today I walked in her classroom, and me and you were both in there. And we saw what she was doing, and you said it, dude. She's a veteran. Like, dude, I have to remind myself of this. Yeah. She's only her first year here, but she's been doing it for a while. She knows what she's doing.
She's seen her first rodeo, but like they both alluded, Tamayo and Cindy alluded to the fact that I can't wait to be back with the department, because that's kind of like what makes work more enjoyable, is who you work with, and
picking on each other,
but like la carrilla, whatever. But it's all in fun. It's harmless, but it just makes it more enjoyable to be at work when you enjoy who you work with and stuff like that. But also kind of like he brought up a couple good points. He's now teaching more senior classes. Yeah. And the difference between obviously seniors and sophomores is pretty big. I went from juniors now to sophomores, and it's still it takes time for them to kind of come out of the shell, but you notice the ability level changes, the maturity level changes, and so you adjust to that.
And to a certain, there's like a weeding out process. So the sophomores that couldn't get together, they didn't all make it a senior year. Yeah. So there's a more productive environment. Plus, the ones that stuck it out, they are just a little more comfortable with their surroundings, a little more open, a little more familiar with the culture of the school, culture of the teachers. And, there was a student that came in because we're only a few days deep, and I guess I have somebody for advisory, and T has to go for the regular class. Or it's the other way around. No, whatever. So, and we both have her, and she kind of mentioned something about why does he call you Papi? Like, whoa, what? What'd you say?
You didn't.
I don't know anything.
You gotta go back to the topic of nicknames.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess I was walking through, and maybe he said it. I'm just so like they say it, and I don't even hear it anymore like that.
Mr. Caro.
Like Mr. Caro.
He gave Tata. We call him Tata.
Administrators call him Tata.
Yeah, and so he gave you the nickname Papi.
Oh, yeah.
So since I started here, we call you Papi. He was like, oh, well, Papi it is.
Right, so it's just a workplace banter. And I don't know. I'm sure you had good relationships at the old site.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of different jobs, and this is I've been doing this this is my 16th year, I think, 16th, 17th year.
Starting year 18.
And this is absolutely like as far as colleagues, and there's a lot of us. There's 100 on this campus. There's another 100 over there at Central, and we all communicate. We all
the dynamic for each department, and within the dynamic, within the department, the dynamic is different. Different groups depending on how many there are. But for the most part, like since I got here, Like it was just like, oh, it was easy for me to get on with everybody just because, for the most part, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We like to have fun, and we joke.
Fun fact, in the interview process, because viewers at home, I was the department chair at the time, and I was on the interview panel.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I was there when we hired Raul.
You're all suited up and
it's
everything.
one of the few things I've ever agreed with Phillips on. I mean, not that bad, but I kid. But Phillips and I, the old principal, we both agreed, yeah, we gotta get Raul, even though he's not credentialed, not nothing. We just saw he was talented. But then we were trying to bring an old teacher over back from Central over here, and you were also one of the candidates. And I remember I was insistent on not picking you, picking the other guy. And I was very upfront.
You told me like, yeah, we didn't. No, you didn't say you didn't want me here, but you're like,
Yeah.
I wanted to get a former colleague back here.
Corona Corona, I had to go, dude.
You were really.
I know you don't believe me, but I really pushed for this and that. It was, it was
You
beyond
told me
my
it's like,
control.
yeah, I was trying to get somebody else.
There's 3 votes. There's department chairs, there's assistant principal, and then there's the principal. At least in that one it was, and them 2 went that way, and which is fine. And I remember because Phillips he was going your direction, and I remember like a few days later I saw Phillips and I remember I told well after we got to know you a little bit, you just fit in like a glove, man, and I remember I went up to Phillips like, you know what, I really love being right, and I do. It feels good to be right. I've told you the story. I love being right. But you know what I love more than being right is being wrong. And I was wrong about Castillo. And it fit like a freaking glove. And next thing you know, some fools asked me to do a podcast. And so here we are. Oh, damn. So,
But here we are. Oh, man.
otherwise, you would have been at Central doing a podcast. You realize that, right?
That's true.
That's funny. And you wouldn't have the hallway restroom. You'd be like a peasant over there. No, yeah,
That's true.
Great.
I'm not gonna lie. But one of the first things when I noticed were like showing me the classroom stuff. I'm like, wait, you guys have your own bathroom?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like in our building.
I've considered leaving
I'm
the
like,
school.
what? That was.
I've considered leaving school. Oh, you're just complacent. It's like about not leaving. People have, people that are trying to talk me to leave. Oh, it's because you're complacent or you're comfortable where you are, this and that. And like, honestly, I get all that. But the biggest thing is I know if I ever go to another site, I will not have hallway restrooms. It's not a thing.
Do you have your own restroom?
Yeah,
That's a pretty big deal.
it's a big deal.
It is.
So this building in particular is especially special because they always ask me to go over your building. There's 2 social science buildings. What kind of?
1.5.
Yeah, so there's the E building and the F building. E building is all social science. F building is 3 and 4, something like that.
Yeah.
3 history teachers, 4 whatever. But
For others, yeah.
my shoe and I are the only guys in this building. So it's always been a thing. That restroom is always clean. Nobody pees on the toilet seat. And I always tell all the girls in the department, if you ever see pee on the toilet seat, come tell me, give me crap about it. Like, well, where my shoes? Well, it's un chino. He doesn't pee on the toilet seat. He's not gonna do it. So if any, just come blame me, whatever. But like it's to the hallway restroom, boy. It's
Here's my question.
please.
I don't know if this ever happened to you, but
Yeah. Okay.
have there ever been complaints about you guys, because you're the only 2 guys, not leaving the seat down? Complaints.
You know what? I never thought so. I actually make it a habit to put it down.
Okay.
But
Here's my thing.
But Brooks is giving me shit the other day about it.
Yeah.
Because we got a new teacher of the building, and he's like, yeah, he used to do this in the beginning, but we straightened it out. And I was thinking in my head, I did? No, I always thought about it. But if somebody said it, then it's probably true.
Here's my question. If it's a building full of guys and like the opposite, less girls,
That's called the E building. You guys leave the toilet seat up.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, do they ever leave the seat up for you?
So then we complain about Cindy leaving the toilet
Talking
seat
about
down.
equality, hey, leave the seat up for us.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
It's only fair.
Uh-huh.
It's only fair.
Make
Anyway,
the argument.
Oh, man.
How did we get here? How did we get to pee on the toilet seat?
I have no idea.
Well, we're here.
Here we are. So, I think that's a good time to segue out to the best thing we've seen all week.
You or me?
I'll go. Best thing I've seen a week has to be the meme I shared with you.
Okay.
This meme, oh my god! And it goes back to our rival
Dodgers
Padres.
rivals.
There's this meme, and it has if you've ever seen, it's a similar meme where there's a guy, he's biting on this gold medal, and he's like celebrating. He's like, yeah, and he's pumping his fist, and then it zooms out, and
Like he won the champion.
like he's like
won it all.
celebrating,
Freaking won it all.
fighting a medal, and then it zooms out, and he's in fourth place, and it has the logo of the Padres, fourth place on the podium, celebrating as if he's actually won something.
See if this comes out.
There it is.
Oh,
There it
yeah.
is.
So he's
got
getting
popping
crowned.
champagne.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
my
look at
God.
the last picture. Look at the last picture. We are celebrating like when everything, flipping the finger, getting the chicks, popping the champagne, and look what place we're in. So, I thought
That was perfect.
all right, I'll admit when you got me in that one was because that's what it was. That's really what it was, and I think we almost literally got fourth place last year because we lost to the Phillies in the pennant.
Yeah.
So we almost literally got fourth place last year, but that was me. I didn't care. I mean, it'd be nice to win the World Series, but I'm a Padre fan. I got to be realistic, right?
Yeah.
So just the fact.
Last year was the lucky year.
Then it was because I know, and I always tell you, I know that the Dodgers, Padres are stacked, but I get
It's actually very disappointing.
Who am I? What do I know about baseball to a certain? But I get frustrated with the play discipline of us. But if I turn on a Dodger game, always very patient, always very methodical. The plate approach, and that's like 1 through 9. The Padres are like free swingers going for
My friend
It's
yesterday.
fun, but it can be frustrating when we are scoring 0 freaking runs.
My friend
all
Timmy
the time.
yesterday said, because the Dodgers are playing the Brewers, we'd make a bet, and he says, "Must be nice to have a team you just assume will win."
They're 9-1 their last 10.
I said it took a long time to get there, but yeah, it is pretty nice. So
You know the entire National League West is 3-7 in the last 10 games, except for the Dodgers who are 9-1. There's only 3 other teams in baseball that are 3-7 last 10 games. It's like Kansas City, New York, and some other terrible team, probably the Oakland A's. But the entire National League
that's
West.
why I'm
is that
telling
way.
you, like,
Look at
you last year you had so much fun winning.
No.
Don't you like winning? Hey, come on over. We
That's
take
called
bandwagon. and-
That is called a bandwagon, and
Hey.
that's not right.
Winning's fun. Join
Okay,
us.
I will admit to this to you. I was a childhood Chicago Cubs fan
Mm-hmm.
because
Man, you just like losing.
yeah. But so it goes more into the culture of being okay with the Padres, right? So so from the time I was 6 to 12, so this is like 1986, 1987 till the time like 92, 93. I was always on the Cubs team, baseball team, just like coincidentally.
Yeah.
Just is weird. Just whatever team I got put on just happened to be the Cubs. So like in the 80s, early 90s, I was always a big Cubs fan. Ryan Sandberg, Audrey Dawson, this and that.
Yeah.
And I was in the gym this morning. I had my headphones on. Some lady started pointing at me. I was like, "What the freak?" I said, "Never seen this lady before in my life." And we're at the same gym all the time, at the same time, and like, what the hell is going on? And I wore my Cubs hat this morning. So I took the headphones off. Like, oh my god, a Cubs fan! Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I am wearing the Cubs hat because the Padres are always first.
Yeah.
Cubs are always like. It's hard for me to root from now. It's
Little
just
losers.
it's more of a nostalgia factor. The Steve Bartman thing, I have a hard time. Okay, it's there. It's not like the positives, but I got a kick out of it. Dude, you should have seen this lady. She's so excited.
Cubs fan, I'm not the
Yeah,
only
she's
lady.
like, I'm from Iowa. She's like, tell me a life story, and she was so excited. And I started talking about the '80s Cubs and this and that.
Which kind of-
And then she says, "My husband's over there," like almost like in case you think that I'm hitting on you, sir.
That's-
yeah. So like, okay, and then we kept on talking all cool.
We're
Gym
gonna
etiquette.
Gym etiquette.
Yeah,
That's I'm
yeah.
making
So
a note because
there's such thing as having a
we'll get to that.
platonic conversation.
No, not only
But
that.
one side or the other might be thinking, wait, are they trying to do that?
So I like wearing hats, and I would
Block of the
wear.
world.
I have a Pirates hat. I have a Blue Jays hat. I have the old school Cleveland Indians hat.
Sergio?
I have all kinds of hats. You're all my favorite teams, right? I have like 30 of them, like Sergio. But it's funny, like, oh, you're wearing that hat, you must be a fan. Like, nah, I just like wearing hats. The only hats I will never wear, absolutely never, are the Yankees and the Giants. That's it. I'll never wear. I'll wear a Padres hat, but before I wear, Giants or Giants.
You wear Padres hat? I can't wear Dodgers
Actually,
hat.
I've had Padres hats.
It's
before.
like having garlic on my skin.
I've had the
that
Padres
episode
hats
you
before.
made me wear because I lost a bet.
Yeah.
You made me wear that Dodgers
I wore
shirt.
that ugly brown ass Padres shirt too. So, but
That's right.
I will not wear a Yankees or a Giants. But anyway, that's a whole different story.
Wow,
So,
Yankees, huh?
Yeah.
Is that because the Dodgers?
Yeah, it's
rivalry
old
too?
school, history. History.
But the Dodgers.
Mhm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting, it is.
Yeah.
So,
University.
anyways, let's wrap it up. Best thing you've seen all week.
Oh yeah, we're doing. That's what we're talking about. Best thing I've seen all week. So, by the way, that was a great meme. Even I thought it was funny as freaking hell.
Yeah.
So there's one big one and then one sub one. So the big one is that now they through state mandate throughout California they approve funding to start flag football teams for girls. And so you and I have both coached powder puff before.
Yeah,
and
undefeated.
we've seen and so playing football before. When I'm always coaching the girls, I always tell them that the beautiful thing about football, it is like legalized violence. Like you could jack people up, and you won't get suspended for it. It's such a beautiful thing. I've never been in a fight in my life, but I can handle the violence because I played football forever. Right, that's where some of the brain damage came from. I just thank goodness. That I didn't have to play against any like 6'4", 230-pound guys that run 4.40s. I was running a bunch of 5'8", 170-pound Mexicans, you know what I mean? So not too much brain damage, you know?
Yeah.
But, so I remember, especially last year coaching Powder Puff, and I posted on one of the reels, one of the girls got her nails ripped off.
Girls are vicious,
man. She got her nail ripped off, and I posted on one of the reels, but she got her nail ripped off, and she was like, oh, I was like, well.
And she wanted to go back out.
Yeah, we taped it up.
Yeah. Like,
oh my God, are you okay? And then, like, okay, I'm going to go back out. Like, what? And on principle, because it's not a head injury and nothing's broken. Yeah,
and that just kind of goes back to
these girls are tougher than some of the guys.
I've coached baseball and golf.
Yeah.
When I coached powder puff.
Yeah.
Because in San Luis we have a football team.
Yeah.
The girls were beasts. They were like competitive.
Badass.
One girl eventually found out she had like a fractured clavicle.
Yeah.
She was like, put me out, I'm ready. I'm like, heck no, your shoulder's like this. But
you didn't play the game?
They're vicious, man. Vicious.
You didn't put it back?
I don't remember.
So, I mean, that's
maybe, but probably not. But the fact that they're like, they want to compete, and flag football is not supposed to be contact. Like,
it's contact.
But
you could, I mean,
I'm excited for them too. Yeah. Especially this is the first year and seeing how much talent and how athletic a lot of these girls coming out are.
It was his coaching last year was insane. I see girls on campus. Are you playing powder puff? Are you play? So there's like schedule conflicts with like if they're doing golf or they're doing cheer, or there's scheduling conflicts like that to where a lot of girls, not all the talent. Yeah. For powder puff, all the talent could do. It is just crazy how fast, crazy athletic some of these girls are.
Like,
and then they get hit. Too, they get hit. Or sometimes they're hitting me. Like, well, hit him back. Hit him back. Well, they might call a penalty, but will it be worth it? And they only get to play 2 games in their life, right? Junior and senior year. Yeah, that's it. But to me, that's the beautiful thing about it now.
Now it's a season,
dude. And they have an Instagram page, and you and I both follow it. And our boy Raul
Gradillo,
and our boy Sergio Gabino's son Dueñas is the other coach.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Oh, did that come Sergio?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit someone else. Sebastian.
I'm sure. So I mean, I was walking out, I see them practicing, and I'm just like, man, I miss coaching. So good luck to the girls. Inaugural season flag football. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to watching some of their games this year too. So
yeah,
anyway.
it's just I'm really, man, football's fun. So I'm really excited for the girls. And there was a second quick note. Do you have another point? No. Second quick note. I'll be 44 on Sunday. And so I guess
44 or 41?
41 forever, right? 41 forever.
That's right.
Google it, you'll see. So anyways, somebody got me this gift. Remember, it's only a lie
if you believe it.
So no, remember it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. Remember, it's not a lie
if you believe
it. And the funny thing is, Seinfeld, George Costanza, it's his episode of him trying to beat a lie detector test. And the Trump trials are coming up, and they're like, "How's he getting get away with this?" I'm like, "Well, kids, it's hard to prove. It's like proving somebody lied is really, really hard because." And I always say this line. I swear to you, I always say this line in class because I teach Gov, right? AP Gov in regular government. But like, because it's not a lie if you believe it. And that's it. It's a valid court argument, and it's very hard to prove somebody's lying.
Well, you know, that's what you can prove.
So who got busted? The Sandy Hook guy, the radio show announcer, the podcast guy. God, I forget his name. He says all kinds of crazy crap. He said Sandy Hook was like a fraud, whatever.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
He got proven in court that he lied. So the
He actually
fact
believed it.
and yeah, so,
He wasn't lying because he believed it.
But there was like text messages proving that he knew it was total BS, and I'm like, that's when you know you really messed up. When you get proven in court that you were actually lying, that's man, you messed up, because it's like the hardest thing in the world in court to prove that
Yeah.
you actually lied.
That's true. We're back to another school year.
Let's do this, baby.
Let's do this. And
And
on that note,
I'm excited. Yeah.
back to another one.
Consider yourself educated in court, baby. Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.